How we doing today, guys? Part 2 of the '04 Ford Freestar. I'm just going to run through some things on here on how to get this water pump out of here. Like I mentioned in my first video, it is a pain in the butt. But here's the steps that you want to do. Okay, you got a alternator bracket that sits right here. All right, don't remove that just yet because you're going to use that as a lever. And this tube, this little guy right here, this is what sets into your water pump. You got a seal here, and it is a pain in the butt to get this thing here out of your water pump. You got that seal there holding it in place. Grab you one of these big boys right here. If you ain't got something like this, use a crowbar of some sort to get some leverage and pry up under here. I'm trying to get my camera to focus here. Sometimes it's kind of difficult, but you want to prise up underneath this. You don't want to prise back here because you'll bend that. You'll bend this bracket right here. You want to prise up right along in here and just kind of work it around and prise up. This will eventually come out. I did find a little easier way when you get the water pump loosened up. Kind of wiggle it out a little bit, and you can prise up a little bit more. And you'll see it move a little bit. And that's a good sign because you're getting ready to get that thing out of there. But like I said, it is a pain in the butt. Next, after you get that out of there, you want to drop your fender well, and I'm getting ready to get to that here in just a second. Okay, drop your fender well. This piece right here, you got a couple screws here, down here, and everything. You got actually 2 screws onto the mud flap. Undo them 2 screws, turn it around. You got a couple screws going around up top, and about 2 of them here, and you got 2 at the bottom of the bumper. But just kind of get it out of your way to a certain point to where it's not going to cause you to get in a bind or anything. Now, as you can see here, camera in here again, I drilled a hole here, my first hole, and I missed about three or so inches off. So I just measured across, and I come here and drop down just a little bit and drilled my hole. As you can see, you got a little indentation here. You just want to come over just a little bit beside that indentation. Once you do that, drill you a hole. If you don't have one, I suggest you get one. If you don't have one, I suggest you to get one. Get one of these. These here are mainly for like firewalls and basically drilling holes into metal. These things come in handy. This is not really the right size to be drilling a hole that size. You need to get one just a little bit bigger than this. It's actually going to come out a little bit farther out and taper down. You want to get one of these. These things, man, I'm telling you, these come in handy, and it will save you a lot of time and and it will save you the hassle of drilling holes. I had to actually use this, but it's kind of dull. I did use a drill bit, a big fat drill bit. I'll show you that here in just a second too. I don't know if y'all can see that too well. You might, but this drill bit right here, this is what I had to use. I don't really recommend using it. Make sure you lube it up with some oil, PB Blaster, WD-40, or something, so that way it can cut through that metal a little easier. But if you don't have any of this, try to just get you a drill bit and get you a punch and punch a center hole or something first, and then start using your drill bit or this gadget here. But like I said, if I was you want to start on this, first off, I would go down there to the auto parts store or somewhere that carries these here, they should carry a couple of them, and they've got various sizes. So you want to get one that's just a little bit bigger than this guy. But I'm telling you, this thing here, it saves you a lot of hassle and a lot of time. Down here, after I drilled my hole from inside that fender wall into the subframe, is I drilled through. Okay, now you've got a bolt. Move that bag out of the way. You got a bolt stud basically here, and it's a long stud. Get this loosened up, and you can slide that stud through this hole here and pull it out the other side. And that right there, it is a little easier. That's going to be this stud right here. See how long that thing is. So come back over here. Okay, this end here is actually what went through that water pump bracket into the block. Okay, it actually, see now, since I got my hole drilled, I can just come in here and slide it in just like that right there. Slide it in, boom, bada bing, bada, done. All right. So that's why I had to drill that hole there. Makes it a lot easier. Man, I'm telling you, it makes it a lot easier. So just a suggestion on that. All right, so I'm hoping I didn't miss anything. Okay. Oh yeah, I guess I'd already, go ahead and remove that alternator bracket too out of your way when you start going on this, after you get that tube out. So once you get all that done, just go ahead and just leave these 2 bolts in. And the reason for that, like I said, I didn't really feel like driving another hole into the subframe, so I just left these 2 studs in. I just took 2 nuts, 2 small nuts, and if it is a little bit loose, all you gotta do is just take your 2 nuts and put on this thread and tighten it down, and then you can run this in, and then take 2 of your wrenches and put on them 2 nuts, and then just back those nuts off, and then that's in there. That stays in there. So you just leave those 2 in there, and then when you get ready to get all these other bolts and stuff out, just pull it out. Like I said, you might have to finagle with it a little bit, but it's not going to be too bad. And so once you get that water pump out, take your razor blade, like out of a box cutter or something. Don't dig in to the metal. This is aluminum. It scratches very, very easily, and it can embed into this very easily. So be very, 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 very careful when you go to remove this gasket off of here. If you got any gasoline laying around, or go get you some gasoline, put a little bit of gasoline over this. Don't pour it on. Just take your little rag or something, just wipe it down and everything. That way that gasoline can soak in to that sealant and dissolve a lot of that sealant. And then you can take your razor blade and just kind of start scraping. You want to hold that razor blade at a slight angle. You don't want to come up this way. You don't want to be down in there like that. You just want to kind of come in and just start scraping up. But like I said, be very careful when you start cleaning this up, because this, any scratches, deep scratches or anything like that, you can cause this thing to leak, and you sure don't want to be tearing this thing back down. Okay, and another note, if you're new to this, and you don't have a whole lot of money, and you want to save some money, but you're not sure about taking it to a shop, you want to do it yourself, but you don't really want to tackle this job, go around, contact your local shops around town and see who is the cheapest, and somebody that's going to know exactly what they're doing and what they're talking about. because a lot of shops like to kind of screw you. That's why I kind of do a lot of my own work. I've been doing this for quite a while. I'm 27. Started doing mechanic work when I was 16, actually about 13 to 16 years old, so it's been a while. I didn't really want to tackle this. I should have took this thing into a shop, but hey, I was like, well, to further my education a little bit more, hey, I might as well go ahead and jump in and do this. But in the Haynes manual, like I mentioned in my first video, is that talking about the motor mounts, removing the motor mounts. If you don't want to do that, like I said, do it this way. Like I said, it's a little bit easier. Get you a harmonic balancer puller. Be careful. This is another thing I'm going to show you, and I know y'all are going to be like, oh my god, no. I should have just left the puller. Well, I can't leave the puller on there because I got to push it back on, so I'm going to have to figure something out here. This actually slammed up against the frame. Talk a little bit more about this, I think, in my first video. So this is going to be a pain in the butt. I'll worry about this later and figure something out on that. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and jump off here. Hopefully this video helps you. And if you have any questions, please comment. And I will try my best to get back to you guys. All right, y'all have a wonderful day.